And this week of all weeks, it's been interesting to have a dialogue about Senate Bill 1, a long markup in the Rules Committee to be able to talk about voting in America. Now, I was at the White House several years ago when the First Step Act was signed. It was a remarkable bill dealing with criminal justice reform. And as I was at that White House signing ceremony and that gathering of all these different folks that had been engaged, it was interesting to me to stand in that room with President Trump and to have folks from the Heritage Foundation and folks from the ACLU in the same room, shaking hands, smiling, and saying, this is a good piece of legislation. In fact, it's the only time that I can remember sitting at a signing ceremony, watching people from two different perspectives say they both support something so strongly. That was the First Step Act. I have now seen my second time that that's occurred, when both the Heritage Foundation and the ACLU both oppose Senate Bill 1 and H.R. 1. They both come out in opposition to this. Well, that's an interesting gathering of folks to be able to gather together from both political extremes to be able to look at a piece of legislation, all 880 pages of it, and to say, that's a bad idea. Why would they say that? Well, let me count the ways of why they would say that. In my state, in Oklahoma, we have great voting engagement, good. We want to make it easy to vote. We want to make it hard to cheat. We want as many people as possible to be able to vote and as many people as possible to be able to engage in the process. It's the nature of a republic like ours. You need people to be able to be engaged. But we also want to be able to follow up on that process as well, to be able to make sure if someone's actually breaking the rules on that, we follow up. And in our state, we do. Recently, I followed up with our state leadership for voting to be able to find out what happened in our last election, what are we doing. We found 57 people as a state that voted twice in my state. All 57 of those names are turned over to local district attorneys, and they'll start following up with those individuals because that's a violation of the law to be able to vote twice in our state. 57 names is not very many, but it's because we continue to enforce the law in our state to be able to make sure that we have as many people voting as possible, but also accountability for people that want to be able to cheat in the system.